All right, so where do we even begin? The Royal Rumble just ended, like literally a little while ago, a couple minutes ago, and by the time this video's up, I don't know. But I don't even know how many people are gonna be watching this video. But I honestly don't care. I just need to go voice an opinion out there because I don't want to go and type this all and then be typing on Instagram, Twitter, and whatever else, and then just like not get my point across clearly. So the whole Royal Rumble in itself was actually booked very well. Besides maybe a few nitpicks here and there, but overall the storytelling aspect was amazing. And I gotta say that the Royal Rumble in general is just a breath of fresh air in every which way. You get rivalries just happening, just being made, I guess, especially in the women's. But we'll get to the women's in a little bit. But yeah, I'm just going to run down some things that I enjoyed of the Rumble. I'm not necessarily going to give out like any spoilers or results. There might be a couple spoilers, but I don't want to give full results because I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to voice little nitpicks here and there because that doing whole results thing was just a whole thing in itself. But when we look at what happened tonight in the kickoff show, starting with the kickoff show, it was, I missed it, to be honest. I forgot that it even started at that time. I really wasn't paying attention because I was busy doing other things. So I didn't know what time the kickoff show started. I went into it like an hour later. So I missed the cruiserweight match, but it was, honestly, those are like the bathroom break matches at this point, which is kind of bad. I like the cruiserweights. I think Neville did an amazing job, being in the cruiserweights. It would have been amazing to just keep Neville around, with the whole Enzo thing, which I'll comment on a whole different note in itself because apparently a whole thing there too. But yeah, like I wasn't really paying attention to the cruiserweights division. I'm not really interested in that as much. But Bobby Roode, who put his title on the line in an open challenge. Wow, that was a weird sentence. Put his title on the line in an open challenge. My bad. I need enunciation skills. And match was just a match. It was, pretty good it worked its purpose. And its purpose was the kickoff show match, which sucks because I think Bobby Roode in the Rumble would have been even better. But whatever, it is what it is. Of course, he went over. Mojo Rawley's just at this point there. I don't know if I like Mojo. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's pretty decent. I wouldn't say he's amazing, but if Jinder could be champ, I don't know why Mojo can't. I find him more charismatic, and I personally tolerate Mojo a lot more. But then again, I am the wrestling fan with the worst opinions ever and the most unpopular opinions ever, but whatever. Bobby Roode got over. Amazing, because Bobby Roode, is awesome. Even though sometimes I have here's the thing, and my friend Sebastian always gets, like, I think he must be, like, annoyed with me because I'm so bipolar with how much I change my mind, but I was, basically, like, live messaging him the whole time, and I'm a guy who really doesn't like Finn Balor a lot, but throughout the whole match of the Rumble, like, I was just like, Finn, 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 Finn. But yeah, anyways, we'll get to that. Well, really, we won't even touch that much base into the Royal Rumble in itself, besides a couple things. But now where do we go from here? The rest of the matches, they were pretty solid. I wouldn't, dare say that there was an awful match. I think that the Universal Championship match seemed a little rushed. I'm not gonna lie, it did look a little rushed. But then again, it went right before the whole nother Rumble, which is something I think WWE knows now to, like, kind of, maneuver a bit differently for next year if they decide to do yet another Women's Royal Rumble, which I don't see why not. It went amazingly well, in my opinion. But where was I even going with this? Oh, the Universal Championship match and the World Heavyweight Championship match, which, or WWE Championship match, because apparently it's not the World Heavyweight. But anyways, the matches were pretty good if they were on Raw or SmackDown. Most notably, the handicap match. I think it was It was good. It was, great storytelling. And, of course, the match, that's all it could offer. I don't think it was going to be a match where it offered a lot of, wrestling and stuff, and a lot of, this indie stuff and a lot of, sorry, a lot of just different things. But, it was storytelling at the end of the day. That's all the match was there to offer, and it was there to give AJ Styles a match in general, as he is the champion. Moving to the Universal Championship match, it was, like I said, a little rushed, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't really have a lot of complaints. I think Braun, even though he did lose, he still looked like a monster. He still looks like a just a badass. I really want him to be Universal Champion, and I was really rooting for him. Insert Tyra Banks meme here. But, I don't know if he's going to be champion anytime soon. If they really want Roman champ, I think it should be, and I know I'm not going to get a popular opinion, but in terms of booking, this would be very great. If they really are wanting and they really, 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 really want to push Roman Reigns to be the champion yet again for like the 73rd time and main event WrestleMania for like the 37th time as well, then have him feud with Braun like the old feuds, like how it would just be, a whole year-long feud. I think that would be a lot better, because and here's the reason why. People are going to go ahead and hate me right now about it, but I'm just going to touch base on it really quick because I want to get through the Women's Royal Rumble match. Roman Reigns feuding with, let's say, Finn Balor or, whoever they want to give to Roman. Obviously, Roman's going to go over. And if Roman feuds, if they give us little mini feuds throughout the year, besides just one long one, it's going to be more talent that was buried and more talent that people are going to look at as like, oh yeah, they wasted them. And, I guess what I'm saying is like, they're going to get buried quicker, because Roman Reigns isn't going to be the guy to lose a feud, or at least multiple feuds in a row. He's going to be the guy to lose one big feud, and he is going to be the next guy, whether we like it or not. It's like when people say that the Bellas aren't legends. Regardless of your personal opinion, they are going to be in the Hall of Fame at one point. Roman, the Bellas, all of these people are... Oh my goodness, I cannot enunciate. I'm sorry. I'm really out of breath. All of these people will be in the Hall of Fame. All of these people will be regarded in WWE as legends. As long as Vince McMahon is alive, it will happen. So don't come at me. Come at WWE with that. But yeah, I think that if they really want to make this whole thing happen with Roman, I would really want a Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns feud, and Braun Strowman really be the next guy over Roman Reigns. It's a bit of a stretch, the last part what I said, but whatever. I'd rather just have the Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns feud. I don't think that Braun can really look weak against Roman Reigns. If anything, I think this will help Roman a lot more with the underdog feel. I think, and again, this is a bigger stretch, but maybe like kind of a Gail Kim-ish versus Awesome Kong kind of feel. I mean, of course, Gail Kim can wrestle, circles around Roman Reigns, but just kind of like a David and Goliath sort of thing, because Roman is a big dude, but it'd be pretty interesting to see, this next, big guy, this next, perhaps Big Show or Andre the Giant, really take it to Roman in that sense. But moving on from the Universal Championship picture and what's going to go down at WrestleMania, we need to touch base on at least probably the most important thing of the Rumble this year was the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. Now, some notes is that Alicia Fox, which was my favorite, I know, again, another stretch because nobody really likes Foxy like that, but I am a huge Alicia Fox fan. That's like, again, my friend Sebastian is constantly having to hear me say my baby Fox because I love Fox to death. But, she was pulled out from it. Another competitor was Paige. I'm not really going to touch base on that either because I don't want this to be like a whole thing like, oh, you did it, and this happened. I think that things, it's unfortunate, but yeah, it happened, and they weren't in it. But we did get some amazing spots. Oh, did I even talk about the men's rumble? Ah, fudge. Okay, well, first we'll talk about the men's rumble. We'll come back to the women's rumble real quick. But the men's rumble, Shinsuke Nakamura was one of those people that I actually was not expecting, I guess. I think that I was just so ready to see Roman win. But I'm kind of glad, again, it didn't happen. You know, I'm glad that we're going to see Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. I think that it should be the main event of WrestleMania. I know these past years are like, oh yeah, this is going to be the main event. And it just happens to be that Roman Reigns is the main event. So I really want the main event to be the actual, literal, true main event. Like, stop. It's like when people say the word iconic and they call everything iconic, you know? It's like everything's the main event now, you know? Everything, you know? Oh, wait, the first match is the main event. But I'm just like, no, it's not. It's the first match. And whatever is the last match is technically the main event. Like last year, what was it? Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt was, I guess, the main event for SmackDown, right? But if you're literally, you know, crunching numbers and being literal, the SmackDown women's division was actually the main event for Mania, for SmackDown. But again, it's not going to be recognized like that. But I think that if WWE really wants to give that whole match, I think they just need to invest in that match. It is what we want. It is what the fans want. You know, it's the popular opinion. So they really need to, you know, deliver with making that just the main event. Because without a doubt, Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles will tear down the whole arena. You know, I think it's going to be amazing. The Royal Rumble match, though, I gotta say, I wasn't disappointed. It was definitely better than last year's, don't get me wrong. I think it was just mainly a whole bunch of, you know, like, it was a lot more comedic spots for me. I think if I were to look at it that way, I mean, we did have the New Day in there. We had Heath Slater. We had Elias. What's his name? I forgot his last name, but was it Samson? I don't even remember, to be honest, but Elias, and I feel so dumb, but we had Elias in there, and we had like all these different kinds of guys. Dolph Ziggler was number 30, in my opinion, a number 30 wasted. I love Dolph Ziggler. Would have been cool to see him like at least number 29, but I mean, they just kind of like, you know, said, here's Dolph, you know, here's his gimmick, and now he's gone. I think that it would have been amazing. I would have been fine with Dolph had Dolph actually kind of won, or at least been final. Pretty interesting thought there, but yeah, I think that would have been a better situation. Maybe have him eliminate Roman Reigns to actually make him look credible as the whole character, because at this point, then you're just back to square one, because, you know, I did all of this to enter the Rumble at number 30, and then, you know, just it kind of go back to square one. You understand me? Like, he kind of just gave it all up by being eliminated. Not him, but creative team. Then also the final four was the four people who were rumored to be the winner. You know, one of those guys were gonna be the winners and whatever and blah blah blah. So I wasn't kind of surprised with that. The fans really seemed to take it to Cena and Roman. I was enjoying it thoroughly. I thought that was pretty cool. The fans were literally the highlight of the Rumble, of the whole show as well. I think that I've said it before that the fans really do add to just the whole spectacle of wrestling. Like, if the fans aren't you know, interested in it, I think that the wrestlers just tend to stop trying. Even though that's when they're supposed to try even harder, they just tend to stop, or like at least get more, you know, uninspired. But yeah, I think for me, the biggest highlight of the Rumble was seeing my dude Rey Mysterio return. Just amazing. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. But other than that, it was pretty comedic. The whole pancake situation, the whole Elias coming out and singing again, Heath Slater getting beaten down over and over again, Hurricane Helms just, you know, thrown out the ring immediately. And the rest was pretty solid, though. I'm not going to lie. I liked Finn Balor the whole time, too. He was actually kind of one of my favorites. Secretly, you know, like I said, I don't necessarily like him in that aspect, but I was kind of rooting for him a little bit. Shinsuke as well. used to have my unpopular opinions on him, but I'm glad he won. And Roman, I'm glad he didn't win. Cena, I'm kind of not glad he didn't win. I would have been fine for him. What I thought literally was going to happen was Roman was going to win because Taker was going to come out of nowhere and just, stare down with Cena, and then Roman was going to capitalize, eliminate Cena, eliminate Shinsuke, and that was that of that. But it didn't happen that way. Glad it didn't, because I didn't want Roman to win, but I also wanted to see Undertaker, be there. But hopefully something big is planned in the future. I'm still rooting for that Cena versus Taker match to be Taker's final and last match. But if it doesn't happen, then oh well, WWE isn't really keen on listening to the fans most of the time. So I was surprised when they really delivered this show. A decent amount at least. But now moving on from the men's Royal Rumble and going to speak on the women's Royal Rumble. So like I said, Foxy and Paige were pulled from it. But it was, the whole Rumble for me was amazing. You had Lita be that first legend to return. And I absolutely, was just, whoa. I was so taken aback from it. I love Lita. I was surprised when she wasn't at Raw 25, but I'm glad that they made up for that by having her be in the first ever women's Rumble. She definitely deserves to be in there. I have to say, I was kind of disappointed for her not to be in there a little longer, for her to have a stare down with Mickie and Trish. Surprise, spoiler, Trish was number 30, but we'll get to that as well. Lita was a highlight for me. Molly Holly was a huge highlight for me. I think a lot of kids don't know. In fact, I know a lot of kids don't know who Molly Holly is, but really, they need to do their research on. I feel like they really need to start mentioning a lot of these women more and more and more. Like, we get it, Hall of Famers, they should be mentioned a lot, but I think just everybody in general should be mentioned, like just every single woman, so kids get curious, because, I mean, that's how I kind of got into wrestling. I saw, a lot of matches, and then I got curious and started going back, and watching more and more, but yeah, no, Molly Holly, Michelle McCool, Tori Wilson got a huge pop. They were chanting her name. Kelly was in there. But, I'm just going to run down some statistics. The ones with the most eliminations were Michelle McCool, Nia Jax, and Nikki Bella with 4 eliminations each. They're all 4 tied. I mean, all 3 of them are tied. 4 eliminations. I can't necessarily pull up who eliminated who, but I was kind of glad that Michelle was in that name. I think that should be something pretty interesting to take into account for next year's Rumble. Mention that instead of mentioning Nikki and Nia, because I know they're probably going to mention Nikki and Nia, but I want Michelle to be mentioned at least. She's a woman that's paved way amazingly as well. What else? Like I said, Molly Holly was in there. I would have to say a big negative for me was Liv Morgan and the Riot Squad and these new NXT ladies. I feel like they're still finding the chemistry, I don't think that it's because they're awful. I think it's just that the chemistry there, it's lacking immensely. Like, I cannot see Liv and, just and Natalia, let's say, or Carmella or anybody just connect with anyone. I just feel like a lot of these NXT ladies who they called up, since it was just such a like weird thing and such a like out of nowhere situation, that the chemistry is lacking, because we didn't really get to see a lot of them in NXT for a while, which is really weird to me. I think they should have introduced it to everybody first, introduced every single one of them, and made them something credible in NXT for when they came up. They were already, instantly clicking with the fans and instantly clicking with the competitors. But they'll find their niche eventually. Trish was the biggest pop of the night. The Bella Twins, too. The Bella Twins did amazingly. Here's the thing. I was just not arguing, but I was having a little discussion with somebody about Nikki and Brie, Sasha, and Asuka all being in the Final Four, and basically this person was telling me, oh well, I believe that Nikki got there because of Cena and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's the same typical anti-Bella remarks. I think, for one, it was a great four. I think that Nikki turning on her sister was amazing. I feel like that's going to play a role. Maybe they can really redo the whole Bella versus Bella thing all over again and actually incorporate it very well and add some good, hardcore matches. If they decide to go that way. Sasha Banks eliminated Belly eliminating Bayley. So this person was like, I think Sasha should have been the final person and not Nikki. Here's what I think they should do with that then. Because I do feel like Sasha could have and should have been the one to, go toe to toe with Asuka, as opposed to Nikki. But Nikki did fairly well. The thing about Nikki, her strong suit is storytelling. Sasha's strong suit is wrestling. So, but in terms of storytelling, I think because Sasha eliminated Bayley, and you see what really made me look at that as not just a friendly sort of competitive thing was Charlotte's face. I feel like Charlotte, the shock that she incorporated in that elimination added to the fact that Sasha really maybe did turn heel. And she was showing a lot more heelish ways, especially when she stood toe-to-toe with Trish and when she was with Asuka and the Bellas. She was barking orders. The Bellas were heels. And so, obviously, they had to make Asuka go over as the underdog. But we look at that situation, and I think that what they should do is, since the whole women's elimination chamber matches is rumored, have Asuka, who won the Women's Royal Rumble, face Charlotte, because I honestly, other than that, I think it would have been a waste of a Rumble match. Asuka absolutely did not need it if she was going to face the Raw Women's Champion, because she already has a victory under her belt. She could just be like, you know what, I have a victory, let's go and do this match here right now. She could have just done it that way. So I feel like they should make Asuka challenge Charlotte, move Asuka to SmackDown, have Sasha win the title from Bliss, or Bayley win the title from Bliss at the Elimination Chamber, and have Sasha versus Bayley feud all the way till Mania. That's the match that we've been wanting to see for the longest time. That's the match that will deliver. And then Charlotte versus Asuka will deliver. And then Ronda Rousey. Now, where do we throw her in? Well, she shook hands with Stephanie, but Stephanie was kind of like, she was iffy about it. So I think Stephanie versus Ronda would be pretty interesting. Then we can get Ronda, we can get that Ronda feel, maybe get behind her a little bit, instead of just automatically giving her the belt and automatically her being shoved down our throats at this point. Because then we're going to have Asuka shoved down our throats and then Ronda shoved down our throats. Then once Ronda and Asuka get their footing well as champions, then we can maybe have them clash against each other for Survivor Series, SummerSlam, whatever you want to call it, whatever pay-per-view you want it to be on. That'd be a better situation than just Ronda versus Charlotte, Asuka versus Bliss, and then everything else just, up in arms. Because that'd be a very terrible situation at Mania to have Charlotte just face Ronda and make herself look weak. I don't think that should happen. What else do I have to talk about? Just the whole Women's Rumble, I think, was very well done. Of course, there were a lot of spots. Oh, Jacqueline and Naomi were, to me, some of the biggest takeaways. Obviously, Naomi was Kofi Kingston-ing, if that's can even be a word. The whole situation, saved herself from elimination. Did get eliminated like seconds after, but it was still pretty entertaining to see. But Jacqueline and Naomi really changed the pace of the match. I feel like the match was really starting to get like a little dull. Like it was, okay, a whole bunch of NXT women, a whole bunch of inexperienced women were just in there. Not a whole bunch, but there was a couple of them. They were just kind of like, not knowing what to do. And then you get Naomi and Jacqueline, and I feel like they just went in and they were like, you know what? Let's change this pace. Let's make this go faster, ladies. Come on. And they did it. And I thought that was very well done. I think Jacqueline and Naomi obviously are amazing athletes. Jacqueline, GOAT. But Yeah, no, I think that the whole match was very well done. The whole Rumble was pretty well done. Um, yeah. But seriously, like the whole Nikki and Asuka being the final two, I found it very entertaining because if it was face Nikki and face Asuka, no. I would have absolutely no. I would have shown disdain towards that whole situation. But because it looked like Nikki was healing the whole thing, I was fine with it because Nikki as a heel is a lot better of a worker than Nikki as a face. She has a better move set, a better, just storytelling aspect than her as a face. And I think it really kind of helped Asuka just a tad bit with the whole, championship feel and the whole underdog feel, I also want to touch base that even if she did get her spot from Cena at this point, they're going to regard the Bella Twins in anything that they do at the top because, like I said, Nikki did get a fair pop. And on top of that, when you look into the crowd, there was a lot of Bella Twin merchandise. Like, I could see many sections with Bella Twin merchandise and hats. So they weren't necessarily going to put somebody who didn't have, that much merch out there. I would have loved to have seen Becky Lynch and maybe Bayley, Sasha, and Asuka be the final four. That'd be pretty cool. But I think the whole, again, Bella Twin heel versus Asuka, the unstoppable force, and then you get how Nikki, is just such a. And for the sake of storytelling, I'm not saying she's like that in real life, but she's such a bitchy heel that I think that's a better scenario because or a bitchy Sasha would have been cool. Like again, I would have been fine with either. It was still an amazing pay-per-view, an amazing Women's Royal Rumble. Obviously, that was the biggest thing this year. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen at the Elimination Chamber if the rumors are true and if and WWE what's going to happen at WrestleMania. I would really love to see Charlotte versus Asuka and then Sasha versus Bayley and then Ronda versus Stephanie and get a whole thing there because that'd be just a better lineup for the women than just Ronda winning automatically, Asuka winning automatically. Then we have these unstoppable champions that just won't lose, and then we have to deal a whole nother year. And then even that, they might not even lose until like 5 years later or until Ember Moon is called up, which God knows when. Until Ember Moon is called up and takes on Asuka, and then maybe Ember can dethrone Asuka this time. But then I know they're going to waste Ember after that. And then I don't know about Ronda. Like, I'm very skeptical about the whole situation. But WWE, I hope, let's just get that whole thing out there. I hope that Ronda versus Stephanie and then Charlotte versus Asuka and Sasha versus Bayley is the lineup, But anyways, that's going to do it for us today because, I am very tired and I do have things to do tomorrow. But yeah, this is my own opinions. I don't really have anything else to say. So go ahead and comment, like, share, subscribe. Comment who you wanted to see win the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. Who were your picks? What was your predictions? Were you happy with the results? Did you like the pay-per-view? Did you hate it? Let me know down in the comments. And till next time.